Hello guys! In the previous video we had learned about the meaning of generic monotheism, and in today's video we will understand what Greek monotheism is all about. Before understanding Greek monotheism, we will first understand the two categories of monotheism, namely providential monotheism and non-providential monotheism. When God actively participates in the life of adherents, like for the process of creation, in the process of salvation, etc., it is providential monotheism, while when God remains inactive from playing any role in the lives of adherents, it is called non-providential monotheism. Based on this criteria, the Greek monotheism is a non-providential monotheism. The Greek monotheism is based on certain assumptions. First, the world has always existed. Second, God exercises neither strong nor weak providence. Third, the world does not exist because God wants it to. Fourth, whatever is everlastingly true is necessarily true. Fifth, that God exists is necessarily true. And sixth, that the world exists is necessarily true. From these assumptions, we might think that world and God are independent of each other. However, it is not the case. There is a one-way dependence of the world on the God for two reasons. First, the world being a mutable thing depends on the God because it is immutable and perfect. Second, God is perfect, having no potential, the realization of which would bring about divine improvement or self-realization. By contrast, the world is imperfect. It has unrealized potential, the proper realization of which would improve the world. This view has a curious result. On it, the world can depend for its existence on God and seek its fullest realization as a thing of its sort, without God even knowing that there is a mutable world, let alone knowing about any individual thing in the world. A Greek deity is not culpable for lacking such knowledge. It is logically impossible that the deity of Greek monotheism have any knowledge of what might not have been true. Nor can the God of Greek monotheism bring about occurrences in space or time. No divine action is possible. So while there can be natural evils, monsters or strongly defective members of species, and moral evils, wrong human actions, these evils cannot be evidence that Greek monotheism is false. This points to an interesting feature of monotheisms. A monotheism without any doctrine of creation or providence can offer neither God's help in salvation nor God's answer to prayer, God's forgiveness, or God's aid, and neither is it possible for such a monotheism that the existence of evil be offered as any evidence against its truth. A monotheism with a doctrine of creation or providence can offer God's help in salvation or God's answer to prayer, God's forgiveness or God's aid, and it is possible that for such a monotheism, the existence of evil be offered as evidence against its truth. Whether evil really is evidence against monotheism is another matter. The point is that only for certain sorts of monotheism does the question even arise. Besides existing necessarily, the deity of Greek monotheism is self-conscious. He, she, or it is also omniscient relative to logically necessary truths. But he, she, or it has no feelings and no knowledge of logically contingent truths. Whatever might have been false lies beyond its range of thought. Indeed, the only thing of which it is aware is itself and the contents of its own mind. Thus, the Greek deity does not create the world, or even know that there is a world. The Greek deity does not know that you exist or that you have needs. It is not an appropriate target for prayer of any sort. There is no prayer that it could hear, nor does the Greek deity bring about any events in history. There is no notion of providence in Greek monotheism. Being a being that exists necessarily, is immutable, self-conscious, and knows all necessary truths, is regarded as the best sort of thing to be.